very influential guy in the board. So moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. Sit down. You guys can probably introduce yourselves. You probably know everybody. I've got one guy here doing an article in a magazine. You want to stand up? And we also got a young fellow, Romer. We just installed Romer on the board as a non-voting member of the board. He represents the military, and what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get the military involved with the AU, and through him and some of our lobbyists, and hopefully one I haven't talked to yet, I'd like to get a pigeon release on the White House lawn or Mount Rushmore. That's
Is it the same?
well, Mount Rushmore a little bit different. You know, they're not close to each other. But that's a goal, one of my goals I'd like to see happen in the AU, and of course, we've done a lot so far, and you never know, we'll take a shot. But Romer will help us attain that goal. But, okay, I'd like to introduce the board members. Of course, myself, Al Crystalite, Crazy Al, Executive Vice President Terry Finnery. Say something, Terry.
Good morning, everybody. Let's hope we're all winners today, right?
Yeah.
Robbie's not here this morning, huh?
Robbie had to leave early.
Ryan Jones, Northwest Zone Director. Say something, Ryan. Okay, good.
Hello.
Very quiet guy over there. Pacific Mountain Zone Director, Joyce Sterling.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the
Joyce.
convention. Hope you have a great time.
All right, 2024 annual board meeting minutes. Ask for a motion to accept as written and posted on the AU website. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second motion. All in favor? Rock and roll, we're right, okay? Are you happy now?
Now you can do this.
I'll make it short and sweet. We've been working hard the last couple of days. We're running this board a little bit different than the last board. Most of the guys are business people up here. And although we're a hobby, we're running it like a business. Most of the guys are businessmen, and that's the way it should run. I mean, you don't hire us, we're hobbyists, but you hire us to run a business. We've increased the income on the, our money in the account. We've cleaned up the AU, put a lot of money in the AU as far as computers and that, updated everything. And in the updating, with Lauren's help in that, we found another $108,000. So right now our account is close to $750,000. And to me, that's crazy. That's absolutely ridiculous. Money makes money. We've got my young fellow over here.
Which young fellow?
All of his money. But he's a liaison. He's the liaison for Andy. He's the liaison for Mexico, and he just got back from Argentina. And he's got those people in Argentina leading our way to get involved with the AU. He's got Mexico very close to being joined in the AU.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we had CL down in Brazil, and of course CL passed away, got sick down there, but he was talking to the Brazilian members of similar AU, and we're gonna get them involved. I got a guy in Canada that I haven't spoken to, but he's gonna help us out, and of course Big Andy knows people up there. And I've got, Terry's gonna be working with DIS, so what I'd like to do is get everybody together. This is $1 billion sport. Nobody knows about it, and the older guys, we keep everything secrets. There are no secrets, things you haven't learned yet. So we have a lot of, Rhonda Mariani is doing a lot of advertising on the web pages. You've probably seen Facebook, she's got it lit up with AU. She's working on TikTok right now, and I also had a 60-second spot, 30-second spot. I got a 30-second spot for the TV from a guy that produced the Pigeon People movie that was on Amazon. And he's a good friend, and what he did was he gave us for free a 30-second spot about pigeon racing, and that's going to go out to the TV stations around the country. So this video will go 30-second spot, and it'll talk about pigeons and that, and hopefully we'll get, at no cost to us, we'll get visibility, right? And like I said, with the rest of the guys working, Roma and that with the government. We've got, what's his name, our lobbyist, he'll be working also to get more visibility about the sport. That's what we're working on, you know, and I mean, we're sitting on, like I said, $750,000, which is a little over 7,000, which is ridiculous. And I just as soon spend $100,000 to get 3,000 more members at $30 a piece. That's a pretty good trade-off, you know what I mean? So we're working and we're working hard, and these guys are putting it together for you, and it's happening. It's happening slow, but not really too slow, but it's working pretty good. All right? Eric is here, so introduce him. Southwest Zone Director,
Southeast.
Eric Alvarez.
Southeast.
Southeast, that's what I
Morning,
said,
guys.
didn't I?
Move.
Good morning.
I said that, didn't I? No, I said Southwest, but you're really Southeast.
I'm Southeast.
Just wanted to make sure you were paying attention.
You're supposed to not pay attention, but I'm there. I saw most of you guys last night. It's good to see you again. Good morning.
Terry, you got something to say?
No, first of all, I want to thank Chicago for putting on a great convention. You know, it's funny, but years ago, it was hard to get cities to put on a convention. And now we have people lined up to do it. And of course, I think part of that is taking on a challenge to put it on, to raise money, because it all comes down to the hobby, it all comes down to sports promotion. Whether or not you believe it, we talk about the sport, how it was in trouble, and I used to preach it was in trouble, and now I preach that we're growing. And it is growing, and part of that is, you know, you gotta raise money. Chicago will raise money, Cleveland raise money. Next year, Florida's gonna raise money, and I bet Florida's gonna use that for improvements to club or truck.
If I may, just real quick, in '21, we also hosted a convention in the middle of COVID. Had a really good setup for you guys, had a good program set up. We did well with the auction and the convention. We were able to buy a trailer, we were able to put crates on the trailer to ensure that in our area, we'll continue to fly at the best price that we could provide for the membership. And we're gonna have another convention.
When is that, what are the dates?
It's gonna be the first week of December.
Okay?
So,
And
yeah,
I
it'll
have
be all
some flyers
this.
to pass out and.
Florida.
They'll have it all
Well, it's my-
advertised.
Yeah, but it's my
That's
sorry.
important for
They're putting a
Pigeon.
big effort about it, yeah.
So it just shows you that, you know, as Al said, you gotta spend money to make money. These guys are putting money up. They're bringing in a convention. You know, Al I'm looking at the number, 820 new members. Okay, so the next thing we're working on is how do we get those members? Were they existing? Did we get them from advertising? What source? So we can focus. You know, if you look at the growth patterns, there's more in Florida, which maybe more people are retiring into Florida and they're getting new people. Then the second was the lake zone. The numbers are showing. So if we focus on analytical numbers and we're looking at what in those areas are bringing in the flyers, the new members, and we zoom in on different areas to focus on how we get those areas, hopefully this continues to grow. And again, it starts with holding conventions, supporting your members, finding ways to keep your clubs alive, and moving forward. You just got to do it. It's a tough thing, but I want to thank Chicago and I want to thank everybody for coming. And I think the biggest project we have is how do we grow this sport and how do we help everybody as far as membership. And that's the important part of the AU.
All right, also Joyce, we got an update on e-wind speed. She's
Wind
been doing a lot
speed
of work
is
on that.
still alive and kicking after 10 years. We did a complete upgrade of the whole system last year, which is it touches every module in the whole system. It says a lot for programmer Craig, his abilities, that we had very, very few fallout items after we touched everything in the system. It's all smooth and running well now. We have started this year's round of enhancements, and I'll just briefly describe what they are. One of the things you might be interested in is sections. Up till now, sections have been geographic areas like of a club or a combine that get their own separate race result in addition to the main one for the whole organization. Well, the board has authorized that we open that up so that you can create a section of things like juniors or novices, and they'll have their own report as well. I think that's a good enhancement. The next one is one that's requested by the race secretaries. Sometimes when a club makes modifications to their race results after they've already uploaded to the NDB, and things kind of go wrong, and when that report hits the combine level, combine race secretary says, this is just not right. They want to reverse back to the prior version. And so that's one thing that Craig is working on, being able to go back to the last upload and restore it. David Bublitz has asked for the single flyer report. You can select certain races for that flyer, or all races, so that's going to be done. One of the things is, how many of you are race secretaries? I won't belabor this, but race secretaries are the people that I communicate with the most and try to accommodate. That was my goal at the very beginning, because I was a race secretary for a long time, and I had all my little wish list of things that, oh, I wish it would do this, and I wish it would do that. Well, the upload, when you're importing clockings from the various clocking systems, the race secretaries needed more information to know how the upload was going. The system would get bogged down from time to time, and you sit there looking at a screen with nothing being said to you as to what it is, how it's doing, or did it just kind of stop? And so the race secretary would resubmit the import, and you'd have this clashing going on, and that would make it all worse. So Craig's been working on that with Betty Pershala of the Chicago Combine, and has come up with a much, much better way and a faster way to import the clockings. Don Lowe requested that we straighten out things with recording latitude and longitude, because some of the people were misunderstanding the formats that you can put the numbers in to describe the latitude and longitude. So the person would end up 50 miles away from their loft, 50 miles away from their location. So we're pulling it back and saying you must record in GPS numbers. That's the true number. They don't confuse it, and it should be a lot better.
GPS numbers, that set latitude and longitude?
Latitude and longitude of the lofts and the release points, both. That should give us more accurate distances to the loft. Joanna Zuba, of Chicago, has asked for a local report. We now have an average speed report. What she asked for was a local nominated average. In other words, they give a list of birds that are going to compete in this race, and then you do an average speed for the best of those birds for each flyer. Instead of the actual first bird, it's the best nominated bird. So she's requested that report. One big one is, over the years, alien bands have been an issue. You have to register your band for old birds. You can fly it in young birds without registering it, but you had to register everyone with the AU office before you start flying in old birds. This has been a thorn in our side. So Terry suggested that we go ahead and automatically register every alien band that participated in this year's young birds before we get to old birds. So the owner of the bird doesn't have to register it. It's going to be automatically done from the data that's in young birds.
Good deal.
It is. That's a great...
Definition of alien bird for somebody that doesn't know anything?
Canadian, IF, Mexican,
Okay.
anything other than the AU bands.
And counterfeit ones?
Well, the counterfeits we're catching.
Well, that's good.
Wind speed is catching the
Yeah,
counterfeits.
that's not included anyway. Okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
We catch them because we register every AU band that the office sells. So when you're importing clockings, it can go look at that and say, is this a valid band? If it is, good. If somebody else has flown this bird, we got a problem. And that's where we're catching errors in registering birds, but we're also catching the bad bands. And the final thing was, race secretaries could not update their members' addresses, emails, and so on in WinSpeed. They had to contact the AU office to get that done. We've opened that up so that race secretaries can do that in WinSpeed. The office will be notified to keep everything in sync, but it'll be a lot easier to keep things up to date. And the final thing is, I'm getting up in years.
No,
you're not.
She's only 52.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be 53.
The same age as Jack Benny, 39.
That's it, that's it. And more and more I'm feeling the need to transfer my knowledge before I exit this earth. And so I'm asking you for, as race secretaries especially, a better way for you to use the tremendous tutorial, race secretary tutorial that I've built for 10 years with all that I know. It's there, it's electronically captured, you can search it by keyword, but people aren't using it, so I'm asking for ideas. How can I make it more usable? Any ideas along those lines? Give me a call, shoot me an email, I'll be glad to have a suggestion. Any questions about eWinSpeed? All righty. Yes.
One quick question.
Yes.
You know, you mentioned the counterfeit bands.
Yes.
What happens when somebody gets caught with a counterfeit band? What's happening to them? Are they excluded from everything?
Well, for one thing, that bird will not come into WinSpeed or be reported on a report.
To be
I've
honest.
seen it several times, and mostly it's ignorance that our members do not know they can't buy their bands on the internet. They go out, they get their bands, and unfortunately, those birds cannot be flown. And so they learn the hard way, and we catch it before it can get into the system.
No current penalty for the loss, though.
Paul?
Actually, there is. I'm Paul Kaufman, I do Constitution and Bylaws, and in our Constitution and Bylaws there's the Code of Ethics, and underneath the Code of Ethics it talks about knowingly using false information. And at the bottom of all of those listed Code of Conduct items, there is a mandatory statement down there that says you will be either or, and it's like a 3-year suspension or a year probation. It just kind of depends on the severity of it. If it's an accidental thing, you know, or you know, if you buy bands from wherever, you know, and thinking you're getting the real deal, and then you go to a race and you get clocked in, and the race secretary says, "Hey, hold on, we got a problem here." That's one thing. But if it happens multiple times, and we, you know, obviously there's a difference. So based on the severity of it, I believe the board would then, or your club first, you know, the proper channels to go through. First your club, then if that can't be resolved and to where everybody agrees, then we would take a look at it as an infraction and then go from there. But there is a clause at the bottom of the Code of Ethics that outlines what the punishment could be.
That just means buy your bands from the AU itself.
We've also eliminated the $1 alien band fee, so that eliminates that penalty of $1 band.
Well, I've had a problem once with a new flyer coming in and doesn't know any different.
Right.
And now he wants to fly his young birds, and they're all, you know, foreign bands. And so we can't let him fly if he wants to fly those birds. We just
Because
can't
they
let him
didn't know
fly.
any better.
But if we know about it ahead of time,
Show up.
we give him AU bands to replace the bands that he has, so he can fly. But one of the issues was that they already had him banded.
Yeah, they don't know.
It's scary because you got a lot of new kids, and let's face it, everybody's going to Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's shopping anymore. I don't want to follow my significant other into a store and spend 2 hours. So you go to Amazon, and unfortunately, that's where we need to educate, both the AU and the clubs. You know, when you get a new member that's interested, listen, you need to go through us, here's your steps. Let's get you voted in, don't order nothing, don't buy nothing yet, check with us. Just education is so important to them. Because, let's face it, it's a good problem.
All right, just one more question, Drew, and then we go back to introduction, and then we'll open it up for questions again.
So Joyce, are you catching alien, foreign, counterfeit bands that are IF, Canadian, Mexican?
Yes,
Okay?
they're just rejected. And then the race secretary calls me to say, I can't get this bird in the race. And I tell him why.
Thank you.
Our lake zone director with the fancy tie, Dave Wilson.
Best tie, the best.
It's beautiful, marvelous.
He picked it out himself.
He's beaten Trump's ties to death. This is the guy he's got it.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. Participation is a big thing, and we need more of it. It's great to see this room almost full. I mean, this is nice. One thing about the AU that I've been here now for 3 years, and it's changed a lot. I will tell you that. The people in this room are really, really excited about what we're doing. I mean, we are trying to go down so many different avenues to promote our sport. It's unbelievable. I mean, you get on Facebook, we have ads on Facebook, we have articles, we have, you know, gentlemen recording things for us, we have commercials. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And we are trying to do what nobody's done throughout maybe the world. I mean, we are trying to get pigeon racing back on the map where people will know what it is. And it's an exciting time. It really is. And the numbers, I mean, every meeting we go to, the numbers continue to build, you know. And yes, we do lose some people because of age or whatever, but the new membership, the ages that we're seeing of people is younger and younger. And it's so exciting. And, you know, I just want everybody to know that. I mean, it is something to see. It really is. I mean, when we have over 10% growth, and we're not even done with the year yet, it's truly amazing. I mean, what business does that? So anyway, the people up here, I just want to tell you guys, we are really, really focused on making this thing good. And thank you for giving us that opportunity to do that.
And we not always get along. We argue and fight, and this is healthy for a business. Also, we have motivation things also going on. We got 820 new members, and we had a deal going with the girls in the office. For every new member, they get $1.
Who in the office? The women in the office?
Lauren,
Not the Goyles?
So
Ladies.
the ladies in the office, you know. Yeah, we got it. I'm surprised you didn't pinch me. But we've challenged them with a little incentive. We gave them $1 for each new member. They've got 820 members this year alone, so they each split 820, so $410 apiece. I wanted to mention that because Alberto, her husband, is sitting in the office. I want to let him know she's got another 400 in the pocket.
Stay away from the
And
casino.
I guess at our age, anybody younger is girls or boys.
And we've done a lot of this with Nichols. I mean, it's amazing what we've accomplished. Rhonda Mariani, she teaches marketing. She's a professor, and she challenged her people, students, to get involved in this, and they've opened up TikTok and they've done all these ads in that. Hasn't cost us a nickel. I mean, and we're doing all this for almost nothing. So it's a pretty unique deal.
Well, you mentioned Rhonda, and I've never met her, but she's doing tremendous things. If I can figure out how to get onto those things, but yeah,
No,
tremendous things.
Yeah, is she on yet?
No.
Oh, she'll be on shortly.
Okay.
Tell her
Probably
later.
the time
And one of the
difference is
things everybody should know, as far as with Rhonda, she is available through her email, which is in the book and everything. And if you have an article, or if your club has done something, or you have a certain person in your club, you can get hold of Rhonda to go ahead and have that put on Facebook or put on in the update or the yearbook.
But
An example of what she's done, you have the update.
Here.
Rummer.
yeah.
you guys look through that. Have you ever seen an AU update look that flashy?
She did a good job.
Gene Yost told us
I was
that we were
impressed.
competing.
Yeah, but Yost is upset we're competing with his magazine, you know? Anyway, I've also like to introduce Andy Rodriguez. Like I said, he was a liaison to actually Mexico, South America and that. He just got back from Argentina. CL Gage is the one that brought him into the action. And he's on the board as a non-voting member, and he's doing a phenomenal thing. And most of the stuff that he's done and travels has been out of his own pocket. So Andy, say something, what's happening?
Good morning, fanciers. I'm so happy to see so many members here today. The sport is growing, and we need to expand, as we've been talking about. The Mexican organization, I'm well familiar with them. They are now holding a race, which we're involved in, by expanding the AU into international waters. All right, there's a club holding a race in Morelia, Mexico. Now, we have sent an AU team to explore the avenue of being in that race. We, the AU, are now members of FIC, Federación Internacional de Colombofilia, International Pigeon Flyers International, which is worldwide. And being members, we can compete for the World Championship. This race is a exploratory time for us in our first international race. Morelia now is using the program Pampa Live, which you can log into and see how the American team is doing.
What's the program?
FCI.
Pampa, P-A-M-P-A, space, live. And it's free. And I've spoken with a couple of the directors of the Mexican Federation, and they're open to becoming AU members.
I just wanted to make a remark. As a flyer throughout, a lot of people think, well, why do we want Mexico and Canada and these other countries when we're struggling in our own country to get new members and everything? But you have to figure that pigeon flyers are pigeon flyers, no matter what country they come from, and they're all having the same problems that the AU and the United States is having as far as losing members and not being able to get new ones, or how do we get younger ones, or the military, or whatever. So by joining with some of these other countries, having them want to come in to the US and the AU also, it not only expands our organization, but it's just pigeon flyers in general coming together.
So it's an expansion into one-loft racing. How does that help us in the backyard?
No, it's an expansion of pigeon flyers, period, one offer. And as you know yourself as being a lobbyist, the one way to get the attention of the government is by numbers and money. So we've got thousands and thousands of pigeon flyers. We make it known. We possibly can change the cost of shipping, or change this, change that, but we have the power to do things. And this is just getting everybody. I know there's a problem of thinking, oh, one-off races are ruining the sport and all that. Well, they're pigeon flyers also. We've got to work with everybody. This is a billion-dollar sport, and nobody's really taking advantage of everybody. You know, everybody's too quiet about this. Nobody's teaching people. When you get a new flyer, you get birds from rejects, you know, and That's not what we're trying to do. We get new flyers, we give them the best of the best, you know, and that's what we have to do to promote the sport. That's what we're working on. And we sent 20 birds as the AU to this race to represent the United States. And the next guy that's going to open his yap is Paul Kaufman. He's our Constitution bylaw, so he got the first, well, he got second, third, and he got 4 birds in the top 5.
I'm Paul Kaufman with the Constitution bylaws. Biggest thing that has happened with the Constitution bylaws, I went back through all of the minutes, every single one of the minutes. All the way back from, I think it's 2009 is the first one that's listed on our website. And I went through and found every single change that was voted on, but never implemented into our constitutional bylaws. I learned a lot. There's a lot of our history in there, and I realize it's a lot of reading, but if you ever want to see where we came from and what happened, that's a great place to see our history. I enjoyed it. I don't really like reading unless it's something I'm interested in, and this was something I was very interested in, and wanted to get this completed so we can get a current and complete constitution up to date on the website so that everybody knows what we're dealing with. The first round of changes went out in an update magazine, and then we had to wait time frame for public comment or whatnot, and then the final version goes into the Constitution. We have one more version that's going to be coming out in the yearbook. That will be, I think, mid-November to early December, and then we have to wait the 30 days, and then by January 1st of 2026, we should have a complete Constitution online, and all updates will be completed at that point. Obviously, this is a document that's going to be changing all the time. There's going to be things that come up that we need to make changes, but at least at this point, we do have current and all changes made. The stuff that Al's talking about, FCI, I've been talking with Dr. Mateo. He is my main contact there with FCI, and had a lot of questions in the beginning, obviously. Now it's kind of tapered off. We got a pretty good handle on what happens with the FCI, what's involved with it. We've been accepted into the FCI. We sent in our application, we sent in our drug policies, our Constitution bylaws. That's all been approved. We're waiting on a formality, basically. I believe it's February of 2026, they have Congress over in Germany, and at that point, it's made official, and we join the FCI officially at that point. 74 countries that are involved in this. As far as what do we get out of it for the AU, we have direct contact with veterinarians over in Belgium. That's all these vets do is pigeons, and we have access to that. Our veterinarians here can contact them for help with our pigeons. They fight the antis for us. We get all of that knowledge, all the lawyer stuff, to compete in races like that and the world championships and all that. That's exciting to me. Now, yeah, it's a one-off race, but what are one-off races made of? Us, the individual backyard guys. Without us, they don't have a one-off race. We have to send, it's the little guys that make up the big guys, so to speak. So they are for the little flyers too. They go to bat for us just like they would, the one-off races or whatever. The world championships, yeah, it's fun and it's pretty cool. Not everybody's going to want to participate in that, and that's fine. You don't have to. Our bands are going to have an FCI logo on them. It just means that you are allowed to go and compete in those races. Should you not want to do that, it does not do anything at the AU level. We continue flying just like nothing ever happened. If your club doesn't have any interest in FCI stuff, you just keep flying the same way that we are currently right now. It changes nothing at the AU level. So.
You're also chairman of the youth program. We instituted some new guidelines and money and transportation. You might want to mention that. Bill, the winner from last year.
I have a question, something you just said. Who revises the Constitution bylaws?
So there is a process for that. Usually it starts with a board action request, and then we look at that as a board. The board does. I say we. I'm not part of the board. I'm just an advisor to the board. The board
You're
actually
not part
votes.
of the board as far as being
I do not have a vote. I'm not a voting member.
okay, okay.
So, I have the Constitution and bylaws, they refer things to me and ask questions, I look it up for them and tell them this is what the Constitution says.
Okay.
They make their decision after that. So as far as changing things, a board action request usually occurs, then we look at things, the board goes back and forth with this, is this something we need to address, do we wanna leave it as it is? You know, and then they vote on it, and if it does pass that vote, then it is put to public comment, it's made notice to public, the general membership can say, hey, you know, what about this, or what about that? Then those thoughts, those are all considered, and then a final vote is taken.
Where are they posted?
Yes.
Where?
It's posted usually in the update, it's made public in the update, and
Okay.
then we try to do them, when it's not every update, but
Sure.
as needed. So the last changes that we did was in the update, the last update had some, and then the current changes coming up will be in the AU yearbook, so it's in our publications.
Thanks.
The policies and racing.
Yeah, if it's racing policies, things like that, if it's outside the Constitution and bylaws, that does not require public notice or anything. Those can be changed that day, updated and included into policies right away. But if it's Constitution and bylaws, then there is the waiting period, and it should be harder to change. It shouldn't be something just on a whim. It should be harder to change. Yes, sir.
Isn't that, the bylaws something that can only be changed at the membership meeting?
There's multiple ways that can be changed. There's the bylaw, there's the public meetings, and then there's things, I can't remember the section, but there is a clause in there that says if needed by the board members, they can make changes, but they still have to have that notification, there still has to be a process to it. But
Normally
yes,
that happens at a meeting just like this right there.
yes, yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially for constitutional.
But we do have, yes, and we do have Zoom meetings now. That's where we're hoping to get more public, more participation in that. Public notice is giving there, but it's not counted as public notice. The Constitution states that it has to be in our publications. So that's where we use the update and the yearbook.
As far as the youth program?
The youth program, we had the youth race. Did you want to do the youth race
Talk
stuff
about
now?
last year's, we've got last year's winner here.
Yep,
What we
so
done.
last year's winner of the youth race was Annabelle. She is right over there.
Come on up, Annabelle.
Come on up.
Come on up
You
here.
wanna come up? I got you coming up. Stand over there, Annabelle.
By the
Talk to,
microphone.
by Lauren, right by the microphone.
You can face this way though, it'll catch
You don't have to
this way.
talk
Yeah,
into it,
catch
but
it.
go ahead.
She won last year's race, and she was actually, I went to the youth race yesterday and was there. She was there with us. And Christian was this year's winner. But Annabelle won last year, so we've given her, her and an adult got a trip to Chicago for the convention. They'll be here through the duration of this, and I believe Benzing gave them a clock, and
Trophy, we gave him a trophy.
yep, got the whole week covered, so glad to have her and her family here.
Anything you want to say?
You got the floor, you got the floor, go ahead.
So, I'm happy to be here. I'm here with my brother and twin sister, Abby and Sam. So, I just want to say that I'm happy for everyone in my club, new club and old club, who supported me while we did racing.
Thank you.
How old are you, Annabelle?
8.
That's what it's all about, gentlemen, and what we're also trying to do. We've got the youth program that Paul is working on, but I also want to get the retirees, and this ties into some of the military and with Romer. I'll let him speak a little while. But I'd like to get the retirees involved, because they're looking for something to do. Pigeon racing to be great sport for them. And the beauty part about it, they all got grandkids. And they got the money, of course it's expensive, but they got the money to help the kids out, you know?
Not as expensive as cows or horses.
Yeah, well, that's true, yeah, or wives. But anyway, okay, we got a Northwest Zone Director, Ryan Jones. You wanna say something, Ryan? I'm holding off on Roma because he's got something to say
Yeah,
too.
you also have to.
Bell, thank you very much, we appreciate
You
it.
also have
Yes.
to get Lauren.
We're just
the
looking
national
forward to
office.
hearing what Romer has to say. I think he's got some good things coming.
All right.
Making me more nervous.
We're gonna have dues online starting this year, so that'll be very exciting for those of you that would like to do that. Of course,
Okay,
it's not
isn't all
required.
dues due at the same time now?
Not yet.
Not yet?
We're working on it.
Okay.
All right, Mary, you wanna be quiet or you wanna say something? You sure? Mary's part of the sports promotion and she does one heck of a job.
Just to, the convention next year will be in Tampa, Florida, at the same hotel we had it in 2021. I don't know, I see somebody was here because he's wearing a hat from Tampa, so, hopefully we'll get you an updated version in about a year. It'll be a 3-race, or 3-section race, similar to what we had in the past. And we're working hard for you guys. We intend to put on a good show. It's important, the camaraderie associated with the racing pigeon sport. We went to, in Oklahoma this year at the mid-year meetings. On the wall at the national office are pictures from the 40s and before, where these conventions were very well attended. And it was a place to go, a place to be, to meet and interact with people that you have things in common with. We come from different parts of the world, we come from different parts of the United States, we come from, but the conventions, I believe, are an opportunity for us all kind of to kind of bond again together. So I'm looking forward to trying to set up a good show for you guys.
Also, I want Roman to say something, but the military and the first responders and that, and get them involved. And I think this is a big deal. He spoke to the board yesterday and unanimously everybody decided we're gonna have to drag him in and be part of the program.
I just want to attend the meeting and you made me.
Yeah, but he's taping everything and I wanna send him down to Oklahoma and tape the museum and headquarters and do a whole picture program that we can start distributing. Romer, you got the floor.
Thank you, sir. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Romer, and many of you knows me about my YouTube channel promoting the racing pigeon sport, Discover with Romer, because I keep on discovering lots of things. I want to discover how the pigeon hobby, works, and I thank Mr. President and Mr. Executive Vice President for giving us the opportunity to be heard, the military veterans. How many military veterans are here? Air Force, Navy?
Sort of Air Force.
Sort of Air Force?
I was a
And then
45
Mark
minute
Pieper,
Marine.
Marines. Allow me to read this article that I wrote, which I believe it will have a good impact and understanding how the RPMV project started, the Racing Pigeons for Military Veterans. When I mentioned that pigeon racing as one of my hobbies, people are often surprised to learn that such a thing even exists. This is because when most people think of pigeons, they imagine the ones living under bridges, in subways, or perched under store ceilings. What many don't realize is the significant contribution these birds have made, not only as an emotional support animals for many people today, but also as an essential messenger during times of war. One of the most famous messenger pigeon of World War I was a homing pigeon named Jeremy. Jeremy served as a U.S. Army messenger pigeon and saved the lives of approximately 194 men of the lost battalion. Today, the remarkable homing ability of pigeons is celebrated through the sport of pigeon racing. In many of the interviews and loft visits I share on my YouTube channel, Discover with Romer, I often ask fanciers why this hobby is special to them. Their answers are usually similar. These birds bring them peace of mind and they help emotionally and mentally. I remember being introduced to the hobby as a young boy growing up in the Philippines by our neighbor. At around 11 or 12 years old, I bought my first pigeons from a neighbor using my school lunch money. Unlike many fanciers, I did not inherit this hobby from my family, but I was quickly struck by the so-called pigeon bug. I still vividly recall my top racing pigeon, a blue bar white flight pigeon I named Kidlat, which means lightning. I was told that he came from the Johnson bloodline. I was not sure if that information was true because he does not have any pedigree. What I did know was that he kept winning race after race. The excitement of waiting for my birds on race day is a memory that has never faded. Instead of using a dropper, I trained my pigeons by standing on the roof of our house, whistling and waving a red flag to encourage them to trap. The joy these birds brought into my childhood was immeasurable. One of the most important memories came during a time of severe illness that almost took my life when I was about 13 years old. After being hospitalized, I returned home to recover. One day, while resting on the porch, I still remember that moment when my father, coming home from work with a small box full of holes, to my surprise, he had brought me a pair of pigeons from the famous pigeon market in the Philippines, the Arranque market in Manila. Although he was not supportive of my pigeon racing hobby because he was only interested in game roosters, he knew how much I loved pigeons. Instead of buying me toys or other things that could cheer me up, he gave me a pair of pigeons, knowing they would give me purpose and motivation to recover quickly so I could care for them. He was right. Life circumstances eventually forced me to leave pigeon behind when I went to college, got married, and relocated here in the United States. Not realizing how popular the racing pigeon sport here in the U.S., I focused on my career, eventually joining the U.S. Navy, and later working in healthcare services in Brooklyn, New York, a behavioral health case manager in Arizona, then in Homeland Security in Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas, and eventually for the Veterans Affairs healthcare system in Amarillo, Texas. While working at Thomas E. Crick in Amarillo, I once met a veteran wearing a U.S. Army Vietnam veteran hat and reading a pigeon magazine in the lobby of the hospital. Out of curiosity, I asked about it and he showed me, and it was the Racing Pigeon Digest. To my surprise, I discovered just how large pigeon racing in the United States. This encouraged me, or in this encounter reignited my childhood passion. And I knew I wanted to get back into the racing pigeons sport. I want to do it again, my first love, hobby, the pigeon racing. In 2023, I accepted a promotion and moved with my family to San Antonio, Texas, where I met local fanciers like Sherwin Tolentino of 3 Stars and a Son. Sherwin encouraged me to conduct loft visits and interviews with other fanciers in the area to accelerate my relearning process and better understand how pigeon racing is practiced here in the United States. So I still remember what Sherwin mentioned to me, why he continued his childhood passion, the pigeon racing, from the Philippines to the United States. He said, "This is our childhood love. Even though we are all adults, we cannot escape the pigeon bug." And he's correct. The first fancier I visited, aside from Sherwin Tolentino to be interviewed, was Mr. Vern Clausen of Stony Hill Loft in San Antonio. Initially, I recorded our interviews and loft visit for my own reference. But when I posted the video on my YouTube channel, it became a hit. My channel quickly grew from 0 to over 5,400 subscribers, mostly pigeon fanciers. Requests soon poured in for more interviews, leading me to meet people like Mr. Bill Miller of the Texas Hill Country Racing Pigeon Club and Craig Nidiver of Palomarlof, who were introduced to me by Richard Aquino of the New Brownfields Racing Pigeon Club. So Richard, a retired U.S. Army First Sergeant who served 22 years as a combat medic, later introduced me to Jason Sarret, who retired as a Chief Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force for 28 years. He served 28 years. Both Richard and Jason shared the same reason for being involved in pigeon racing. Pigeons provided them with emotional support, helping them cope with the lingering effects of their military experiences. Now, connecting these stories with my own childhood experience when pigeons helped me recover from illness, I realized that promoting pigeon racing could greatly benefit other veterans, survivors, and first responders. This led me to the creation of the RPMV project, Raising Pigeons for Military Veterans. While we faced many challenges in the early stages of the RPMV project, I reminded myself why I work within the Veterans Affairs healthcare system. I reminded myself that because I want to continue serving our country by serving those who serve for our freedom. Over the years, I have worked as a behavioral health case manager in Arizona, a service recovery specialist under patient advocacy at the VA, and currently, I am working as the Community Employment Coordinator for Homeless Veterans in Washington State. Now, I conduct outreach program for the homeless veterans. I have seen firsthand the struggles of our military veterans face, fighting internal battles long after their military service. Well, according to the recent reports, an average of 17.6 veterans died by suicide each day here in the United States in 2022. This heartbreaking statistics motivates me to keep going to help mitigate the suicidal thoughts that lingers in our military veterans through my very small contribution. Through the emotional support group like RPMV Project to encourage our military veterans not to give up, but to stay strong and fight their battles. Just as pigeons gave young roamer purpose and strength to recover faster, they now give many military veterans and civilians alike emotional peace, comfort, and healing. In every interviews I conduct, whether with military veterans or non-military veterans, the answers to my question, why raising pigeon hobby is important to you, remain consistent. The answer, the pigeons make me happy, they help me forget past struggles, they give me peace of mind and a sense of purpose. They are my emotional support animals. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the breeders, fanciers who have supported our efforts, whether through donation of birds and monetary assistance, encouragement, or by spreading the word. I may not be able to, mention everyone individually, but from the bottom of my heart, I would like to say thank you. Today, through social media and my articles in the Racing Pigeon Digest, we continue to promote the sport, not only to the military veterans, survivors, and first responders, but also to the youth, retirees, and anyone seeking the peace these birds can bring. I invite all of you to strengthen our bonds and unite under one purpose, to keep this wonderful hobby or sport alive for future generations. In doing so, we ensure that they too can experience the joy, healing, and peace that pigeons could provide unto our lives.
I was going to start the clapping, but you all did that ahead of me. That was good. Everybody's got this on the seat next to you. This is on his nickel. He's done all of this stuff himself. He's got over 5,000 followers in that. Me being a wise ass, asked him answer two questions. What can you do for us, and what can we do for you? And after the presentation he made to the board, we couldn't let him get away. All right, so now, like I say, he's a member of the board, He's a non-voting member, but what I want to do is, like I said, I want to get him a room and some expenses to go and do videos of the museum and whatnot and all that stuff.
May I add? So as you know, I keep on going to the unit. That's the one that I use interviewing the fanciers, you know, loft visits out of but that one was produced when we did the first RPNV auction through Best Pigeon of Frank McLaughlin. So that's what we bought, but you saw that I keep on going there because it's failing, maybe because of the too much dust of the pigeon dust. Well, anyway, this year we are running a fundraising auction through Best Pigeons. If you would like to donate a bird or birds, you can send me the picture of the pedigree and the bird, or directly to Frank McLaughlin or Guy, and that's going to be from October to December this year. And the plan is we will upgrade the unit so that I can create more better quality videos that can attract more fanciers or people to join the AU or the pigeon racing sport.
Now, he's got a day job. This is his passion. I don't want to see any of these left in the empty seats. Take them all home with you and spread them around. As far as the video, wait a minute. As far as the video and that, and these auctions, I introduced him to Big Andy, and I'd like to help him out with his auction. I've been going all over the world with Frank McLaughlin, so he's a good friend, and I want to push that because that gives him the money to produce this stuff and more. So,
I do want to say something really quick.
Go ahead, you're gonna say something.
Okay, as the temporary treasurer, I wanted to remind everybody that elections are next year. We did institute the position of treasurer back onto the board. It would be a voting member position. So be ready to go ahead and put your bio in and your 50 names and everything else to go for treasurer next year. The other thing, the scholarship fund. I was the president of the National Ladies Auxiliary for 10 years. And we had a scholarship program, and we would raise throughout the year with donations or auctions or whatever about $8,000. And we were able to give every applicant something. I mean, our top one could have been 2,000 and the bottom one 500, but everybody was able to get something towards a scholarship. When the AU took over, when the National Ladies Auxiliary dissolved, Tom Coletti was the president, and he promised that the AU would continue the scholarship program. It started, I think, that first year with one scholarship for 2,000, then they upped it to 2 scholarships at 2,000 each, then it went to 3. This year at the summer meeting, it was decided that the AU would fund 10,000 a year. At the same time, we decided that we needed to do something to help bring in more money. That's the auction that we're having at Banquet, that the birds were in there. We were going to do it, Sonny had said, after shipping, because more people would be around. But then I guess they decided that it would be at the banquet. We had how many applicants this year?
15.
15 or 18.
15, I believe.
Yeah.
Around 15 applicants,
We gave out
and
11.
we were able to give out 6, right?
6, yeah. 7? 6, okay.
I think it was 5 and then we added 1. Anyway, I don't like to see those other people not get something. So it's not that I'm into the scholarship program or fund, but as treasurer, I'd like to see that we build that scholarship fund. So if we have 5 applicants, we can give them. If we have 10 applicants, we can give them all something. If we have 15 applicants, that we're not leaving anybody out.
And I'll add, a lot of those applicants are active racers who are flying in a club, they're in college, so it is, our membership applying for those, which is great.
We had a guy call me, his granddaughter got one of the scholarships. He was 84 years old, he still raises pigeons, and he still goes to the high school and gives demonstration and talks. So it's amazing, you know, and we were given $6,000 and we got in and decided we'd raise it up to $10,000 annually for scholarships. And anything above that, we would add to it. So we've got, Big Andy got us together with some of the European guys and some of you guys in the audience, and we've got half a dozen birds out there right now for the scholarship program. We're up to about $8,000. That'll mean $18,000 to go out to as many as we can get. So hopefully anybody that applies, we can put that money out to them. So if anybody wants to bid on those birds, remember it's tax deductible also. So we'd appreciate anything you can do for the scholarship.
So far, I think 7 of our kids have gotten the scholarship over the years. And they appreciated it, and we still have some of them that are still active members.
Well, if you remember years ago, Joni was she ran the scholarship, and we had everybody, we sold Afghans, at some of the AU conventions, we had some of the guys there, and Malucci and whatnot, Giannis, and we were selling wooden eggs with their name on it. And they were going like $500–600, and that wooden egg would entitle to you a pick of the litter from their loft, you know, and we raised a ton of money and gave everybody scholarships, and we're trying to do the same thing in the AU, and I think it's a positive step. And I want to thank Bill. Congratulations again, you did a great job.
Yes.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Yes, sir.
Second.
Exactly. I was asking for a motion. We got a second. We're done. Anything else you want to say? Look to the magazine.
You might call you a mess to get me up.
Watch your heart.
Yeah, I was at your convention.